Hello, my fellow YouTubers. I am so glad I found y'all. I didn't know anybody was out there doing reviews on Ready to Love. I enjoy watching the show. Okay, now at first, I didn't think I'd like to watch it. And end up watching it when the second season started. Didn't know anybody was doing reviews. I would have been doing reviews because none of my family or friends watch the show. They just don't get it. So anyway, I needed somebody to talk to about what I thought about the show. Now I was making my husband, I started watching the second one. So then I was telling him about it. So then we started watching the first, second, and third together. Now he's behind on watching this fourth season because there were some family tragedies going on his side of the family, and so yeah, you know how you get caught up. So he's trying to catch up on the show because he was a lot of things was going on, and he was having things that he had to deal with. And it's not that I didn't have to deal with it, but it was just people who passed that I didn't know about. I didn't know him, but it's not that my empathy and sympathy wasn't there for him. All the same, I found you all. Yes, I started watching Miss Meeshia. Hey girl, hey, little black book. I stay hydrated, but I'm not gonna sing your song. Nope, not gonna do that. But I saw the just YouTubers out there, and I was like, what is this? I didn't know it really existed. I saw some of the things my daughters were watching, but I didn't think that they were really relating like I would, even though I agree with some of the things that they said. So all the same, somehow it popped up while I was watching YouTube, because I watch it all the time. And so somehow it popped up, and I was like, hey, I got some people to talk to. So I said, hey, I'm going to get on, do me a video, do my review. We're all participating and watching the show. It's a game. So I want to participate. And I'm just like the rest of the people. I'm a back pocket psychiatrist, psychologist, marriage therapist, lawyer, just whatever you need. So, hey, got lots of opinion. None of this is medically sound. It's just us playing around. So let me start playing too and show y'all what I think. Because I think some of my views may be just a little different from some of the other people. And anything that seems like it's factual, we alleging that it's factual. We're not suing anybody. We're just having fun. Okay, so one of the premises on the show is that, well, I'm finding out this season, I didn't know it was in prior seasons, is that you pick your top three. So, I'm picking my top three. Okay, now I'm going from the premiere show where Tommy and his wife did the intros. So, I like Joel. Well, he pronounces it Joel. We're in the South. Black. So, we have to pronounce every syllable. So, Joel. But I'm thinking, who doesn't like Joel? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Right? The next person, David. I think he's handsome. I like the idea that he's ordained to marry people. I thought about doing that. Yeah, so I like that. And he's handsome. Yeah, now, hey. So, and then I like Christopher, the mailman. Didn't he say his name is Christopher? I know they call him Chris. I'm thinking it's not Christian, but all the same, he is cute. And he's saying he's a model. So I'm like, yeah, that fits in because he's really a handsome guy. Okay, so then those are my top three. Yet at the same time, I have some concerns about even my top three and then going through the 10. Now, I've said my top three, and I kind of was trying to go in the order they came up on the screen. I don't know if I'm accurate with it, but I know Joel was first as far as when Tommy and his wife were given a description. So, but let me tell you what I think about each of the men, and then I'll go into the ladies and what I think about how the show is going to go. So, Joel. He's was married, and his wife passed, and he has the two children, twins, 8 years old, if I'm understanding correctly. And I'm thinking, this is kind of mean. at least on the girl side. Because when I met my husband, he was widowed with 2 boys. Now, they weren't twins, but when she passed, their mom passed, they were young boys. They were 8 and 6, if I understand it correctly. And so by the time I met them, she had been passed for 5 years. So I'm thinking that gave them some time to, well, you never get over that. I'm never going to just say a person can get past that, because you just never will. I don't expect that from, anybody. So we're not going to go deep into that. I'm just going to say it was 5 years had passed. And a weird thing, I was at the age she was when she passed, coming into his life. But time had passed. So I can kind of understand how the relationship would go in this situation. And it would take your time and be patient in this situation. When children are involved, when a parent has passed, because, you kind of step on eggshells, even though you don't think you will. You're kind of going to be walking on eggshells. Let me just tell you. And then with David, after finding out a little bit more about him, I found out he's a PK. I'm a PK. Now, his parents divorced. Mine didn't, but they were married about the same amount of time. 47 years was when my parents were married. But my dad passed. They didn't get divorced. Now, people go through things. So everybody can get divorced. Everybody who gets married can get divorced. A married man told me one time when I was single and said I wanted to get married. He said, oh, yeah, married people want to get divorced and single people want to get married. So anybody who's married may want to get divorced at some point or another. David, he was getting kind of emotional about his parents' divorce when I watched the follow-up season, and not season, but episode. And I was like, look like he's going through something with him having been divorced and his parents divorced. He's getting kind of emotional. And I was thinking, I was like, well, if I heard my parents were getting divorced, even as grown as I am, I probably would have gotten a little emotional myself and wanted to tear up and cry. Because I remember my brothers and sisters talking about that one time, and they had come and gotten me from Atlanta, because I used to live in New York. So we were from Selma, Alabama. And so they came and got me. They were talking about it, just what if my parents were to get divorced. It wasn't like they were on the edge or anything. But look, they were talking about it, and I'm in the backseat, trying not to make any noise, but I'm back there crying and wiping tears. Sad. But I can relate to what he's saying, if that were to happen. But it didn't happen, like I said, in my situation. But it did happen with his family and with him going through it. So I was like, he probably shouldn't have got on the show, because he's probably a little emotional and maybe going through some things, and he may need some time. So he may not be ready for love. He's handsome, but he may not be ready for love. Now, Mr. Chris the mailman. Well, my husband works for the post office, and actually that's where we met, because I worked at the post office also. Now, that wasn't the reason he was endeared to me, because of the fact of that, because he's just handsome. And let's see, Jason, too young. And it's not that I would be bothered by a younger guy, because I'll date a younger guy if I was not married. And my husband always jokes about that, like, yeah, she like him young. How we get about that? Because he gives, I got some boyfriends that he let me have. I got some young ones that, most of them are young. I got no old boyfriends. Well, did you hear what I said? Yeah, I said I only will have young ones. I ain't gonna have no old boyfriend. But we'll talk about that later. Let's see, Khalil. He might be a good catch, but it seemed like something, not that he's crazy or anything, but it just seemed like he was kind of, how sometimes you can have those intellectuals. He seemed intellectual and kind of standoffish. But not that he wouldn't be good for anybody, because he's a teacher and he's a math and science teacher. They have a certain way of thought that is intellectual. Well, for me, because I'm more of an English person more so than math and science, even though I'm good at those too, but I'm better with English. Now, I was thinking, why is he on the show? Because if he works at a school, there are plenty of women that are trying to get him. I also thought that the same thing. I mean, all of them are handsome, so it's not that any of them are lacking getting women, but I'm just like, those women probably cag him when he come back to school, because they're going to be like, look, I wanted you. And Chris the Mailman, not only are the people that he's delivering to, but the people that work, they trying to get him. I mean, please. Ready to Love, and they come on the show, they ain't need no help. David, Joe, they need no help. None of these guys. These people don't need no help finding love. But hey, they're on the show, so there you go, and I'm watching. All right, so then Troy. Troy ain't ready for no. Troy ain't ready to love. Now, let me tell you, Troy and I are the same age exactly. Troy is handsome. The reason he's not in my top 3 is because I didn't hear anywhere that he said he was married or had ever been married. At 51 years old, I would not date him to get married. I would date him to have fun, to take those trips that he's offering, have plenty of fun, give him a slapped on the beach and all that. Yeah, he's a fun guy, but he's not the marrying kind. And I say that because at 51, he has a child. He's probably good with having that one child and not being committed in any other way. He probably would want a young girl, but young girls want babies. He probably give one a baby because of the fact that he's not going to carry it. He's probably not going to care about it. Kiss it, hug it a few times, and that's about it. But that's just my one black woman's opinion. It's worth something to me, but probably not to a whole lot of other folks. Okay, let's see. I don't want to talk about him yet. Ron. Now, like I said, all of them are handsome. But no, not for me. For one, Ron wants to have children that I don't want to have anymore. My husband and I have been together. You know, I told you I met him when I was 29. And we've been together, was going on 19 years of marriage and 21 years of dating. So, the reason, though, that I wouldn't want to date Ron, even if I was eligible, because that's what we're talking about, is he's probably ready for love. He's ready to love somebody, but it has to be a particular somebody, because Ron is bossy, and he getting ready to try to tell somebody what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and then even when they do it like he wants it done, he still ain't gonna be happy. Because Ron is old-fashioned. He'll want to say that he's not, but he wants to get somebody and just keep them in the kitchen and the bedroom. Remember on Good Times when Jane said, you know, Florida is only 2 places for a woman. And she said, don't you say it, James. Don't you say it, James. And he said, Florida ain't but 2 places for a woman. She said, James, don't you say it. Don't you say it. And he said, the kitchen and the bedroom. James, you better not. Well, that's what Ron... That's what he wants. He talking about all the money that he got and that he's gonna take care of somebody. And I'm like, he done got 2 dimes that he can rub together, and he think he got some money. What if a person is used to a certain lifestyle? Can he really afford to take care of the lifestyle that a person wants? He's saying he's ready to travel, he's ready to do all this stuff, but some people want stuff and he may not be able to afford. He may think he can, and I'm not saying that his businesses don't make money. But he got 2 dimes. He can rub them together. He's like, whoa, I'm rich. You know, it's like a young guy, that first job. And it's just, I mean, and I'm just saying, he's going to get some woman. He's going to tell you he's going to take care of you. Lord, I hope his place ain't a little shack, because of plenty of guys that got little shacks and they happy to be in them. I saw on Divorce Court when Judge Maybelline was on there, a guy had a woman living in a cave. Some people think that's good living. So I would check that before, because, 2 dimes and he can rub them together. He rich now. You know, it's about like Jay-Z and Kanye and P. Diddy and all of them talking about they like Jesus. And I'm like, y'all ain't never heard about the Beatles saying that? Because they had so many fans. They think Jesus got all the fans and haters, but he got more than y'all. Y'all can't even, Lord Jesus. 2 dimes they can rub together, and they think they rich like that. When you're rich like that, all your folks rich, or the majority of them, and you're in a position where you don't have to work. And I know some of them saying, well, I don't have to work. Plenty of guys around here living in shacks and saying they don't have to work. Trust me, I'm not going to go into it. I'm just saying. Ron going to have you in the kitchen and the bedroom. You're going to fix his dinner, have it on time. When he come home and you got dinner ready and hot, ready for him, he going to say, oh, I need to rest. Then he going to sit down and rest and watch TV. Then he going to want to eat the food. Then if it's cool, he going to be saying, hi, why is it not hot? And he's like, because you want to rest. And he was like, yeah, but you could have put it somewhere. You will not make this man happy. And he going to go find somebody else because he'll never be happy because that's that type. It's his type. It's the type of man he is. Let's move on. But you're a handsome guy. He's a handsome guy. And what he's doing is nothing wrong. Somebody told me that I should get one of those casket business. And I thought about it. And I was like, I don't want to be around dead people that much. And I know I wouldn't have to be around dead people. But I don't want to be around where they sleep. Nothing. I mean, I know they have to have clothes. I'll go shopping. But that's about as close as I'm trying to get. Okay. Dietrich. He wants a boy. I had 2 girls, so I don't think I can help him. I mean, unless he's sure he got a whole lot of wives, because all a woman has is the exes. So he got to be sure he got wives stored up. Nope. And then, this about Dietrich. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about a lot of these guys. And you all will relate to what I'm saying when you hear it. A lot of these guys have been married twice. I'm surprised at how many people they got on this show who've been married twice. My thought is this. If you've been married twice, you ain't ready for no love. You ain't ready to love. Or you know how to love. And you might think it was the other person that was wrong. But you really need to evaluate yourself and understand that, one, you're not looking for somebody who's perfect because there's no such thing. So you need to probably give somebody a break. Maybe one of the 2 wives that you had. Then, Lord Jesus, these people don't. 2. Then the thing that you need to look at is the thing where people like to say, oh, well, I'll come in with 50 and they 50. And then we become 100. No, you come with your full self. And then you find somebody who's full self. But most of us aren't full. So we're going to have to knock off a little bit. You know, give a little grace. Give a little mercy. And just try to work with somebody and see what major things you want. Like somebody who's compatible to you as far as religion goes. And that's number 1, because religion weighs on so many things. Religion going to weigh on, and I mean, you're going to say some of the things I'll start off as silly, but it counts. Okay, first thing, your belief. If somebody believes that Jesus is Lord and Savior, which I do, then your belief is not on point with someone who's of Jewish belief or of Muslim belief, because they don't believe in Jesus being Lord and Savior. So, right there, you're unequally yoked, as a Christian's belief is in the Bible, because that's not in the Torah. Then Christians, we celebrate birthdays and holidays. You know, Jewish, they have holidays. They may celebrate birthdays. But I know, from my understanding from the Muslim guy I dated, they don't celebrate birthdays. Then Jewish people and Muslims, they don't celebrate Christmas, Easter. They have holidays around that time, but they don't celebrate those events. I didn't say Jehovah's Witness. I mean, they're Catholic, even though they're Christian, they have some differences in there. So I'm just saying that's a big thing. So, but a lot of people get married and they are of different faiths. Okay, so then that would be a big thing. Another thing is habits people have that may affect you, like smoking. People who smoke affect you even if you don't think they do. You're affected because you're inhaling it, exhaling it, inhaling, exhaling. And they may have a filter where you don't, even though it still, to me, affects them because they have to breathe it in, even though you know what I'm saying. But it affects your clothing, your house smells, all of those things. It can affect your health. That's something I would think is a major concern. If somebody is an alcoholic, and if you're of the age, what is it now? Is it 19? Is it 20? They changed the smoking. So the drinking is 21. That's why people want to be 21. Get it together, girl. See, I'm so old, I don't have to worry about that anymore. But, so if you're with someone who's of drinking age, they are allowed to drink. But then you have to determine, is this person who drinks, or is this a person who's an alcoholic? Because that can affect you. I'm just saying those are some things that are high on the list of things that I would consider as things that may put a check or not a check beside somebody I would consider dating. Some little things that may not be of concern. How a person dresses. I can fix that. I can go shopping for you. And we can fix that. That's a little thing. But some people are bothered by that and wouldn't date a person like that. I'm like, that just gives me an opportunity to go shopping for you. So anyway, we'll go into more detail, because like I said, I'm a back pocket expert at a whole lot of stuff. So, but hey, now, I do have a degree and I do have certifications. I have a degree from the University of Alabama, one of the best schools in the United States and in the world. Roll Tide. So, yeah, I hear y'all. Roll Tide. Because we beat all y'all schools. All right, so now, KJ. The DJ. With the good voice. Pretty skin. Knows how to wear some clothes and colors. Would not be the man for me. Because I love how you wear some clothes. Because we would dress and look nice together. Oh, he sounds good. But I am Naya all the way. Oh, I agree with everything she said about him. I don't even know why I'm telling them. Put him back on the show. If anybody needed to have a second chance on this show, it would have been Winter. And Winter too grown to be on another show. So if she's not going to be on another show, nobody else. Because Naya was right. Look, let me tell you something. If a man can't pay for where he lives, then he don't need to be with me. Because if you paying to live somewhere, you should be able to afford for me to come and live in your spot, or if you live in my spot, you can pay. But that's just me and not black women opinion. Hey, and we see how that went. And I agree with everything she said. I'm like, what is these women not listening to? Like she said, and I agree with her. If I'm going to be the person who's going to carry the baby, at some point I'm going to be incapacitated. And I cannot worry about paying a bill. And I need a man who is going to make sure me, and the baby get fed. And he doesn't want to do that. So, I'm Team Naya. Naya girl. Everything you said, I understand. Even in the reunion that they have at the end. See, Naya was playing this game the best. She's the best player anybody. Like she said, she's still available. Until somebody asked her to marry them and put the ring on her finger and they said vows, she's still free to date whoever she wants. And I totally agree, because that's what it's about. You're supposed to date all these people to get to know them, to know who's the best person for you. And a man will leave you on a dime. They will leave you at the altar. So you better be sure of what you're getting into. Naya, everything you said, even when they said, oh, somebody will find him. And she said, no, he'll find his wife. Because that's what the Bible says now. She was not making this up. The Bible says she was speaking Bible all the way. You all better read your Bible. Proverbs. Wait, I'm trying to make sure because one of them, I'm trying to make sure I'm quote the one about the children and spare not the rod and spoil the child. 18 or 22 Proverbs. Read the whole thing. Hey, it won't hurt you. You'll probably learn something because they talk a whole lot about how a man should be. And then Proverbs 31, it talks about just one chapter that talks about what a woman should be. Because we don't need but one. Y'all need the rest of them. And all of us need to read it. Okay, did I get all the guys? I think I got all the guys. I don't have a whole lot to say about the girls. Yeah, see, I told y'all I'm 51. Here's proof. I mean, looking through my readers. Okay, so these girls, I'm going to go through them real quick. Yeah, I'm putting them on any kind of way. All right. Who ain't ready? I think all the girls are pretty. I'm a woman, so I don't have a whole lot to say about this part. But I just wrote down some names. Ida. Girl, I don't know what they're gonna do with you. You got proposed to twice. Didn't I roll and then get married? And I understand because I got 2 rings. 2 before my husband married. And I had a whole lot of guys. They walk down the street. Will you marry me? Will you marry me? Let's have some children. We have some pretty little children. And I'm like, nope. So anyway, girl, I don't know what we're gonna do with you. You got enough men, so you don't need to be on this show. But you're pretty. Oh, and that lipstick you be wearing, girl, you be doing that lipstick. Okay, let's see. Stacy, I put down here a little crazy. Pretty, but crazy. You know why? Because why aren't you letting your son, this black man that needs an education, go off and you're talking about he felt he needed to be there with you? Or what kind of crazy is going on with you that he needed to be there? He needs to be in school. And if his dad was a pro basketball player, chances are he can be one too. Let that man live his life. I hate when you mothers stop these men from being men and trying to hold them and keep them from being good men. And then you wonder why you ain't got one. Oh, did I say that? Oops. Chrysanthemum. You can get a man, but this is fun. This is a fun game for you. And from what you said, you should give a run. You want somebody to provide, and he's ready to provide. You're going to do what you're going to do, and he's going to do what he's going to do. But y'all going to have fun. So, give a run and call it a day. Amber, I think you need to be with Jason because both of you are young, don't have children. He's a teacher. You're an attorney. You all can do good things. You or Kyra. Kyra's an attorney too. She will be good with Jason. So either one of y'all could be good with Jason. Alexa Fly. Hey, I understand what you're saying about that husband. That's why I'm a PK, but I wouldn't want to marry a preacher because it's very demanding. It's very demanding for the husband. It's very demanding for the wife. It's very demanding for the children. Very, very demanding. For Meeshia, now, I've been a salon owner too. You're pretty. Pretty. I don't think you're going to find love on the show. And the reason is because, one, you probably don't want to have children. The younger guys will be fun for you to play with. The older guys, sometimes they don't tend to go for older women. And I don't mean that in a bad way because you're pretty, pretty, pretty. And you got it going on. And I think since you've been in a relationship, you're thinking that guys ain't going to cheat. You meet them at older, like one of my cousins told me when I was a younger girl. And I asked her, when you get older, do men cheat? And she said, yeah, men, they don't mature, they just get older. It's like, what? But at being older, she was right. Now, see, they really just don't change a lot from being young. They think they're 16 forever. They're not. But they want to think they're 15 and 16 forever. They don't grow up. So you find an older one, they're probably going to cheat. So just find you somebody good to play with. Don't try to find somebody to marry. If you love them on your own time, your own way, and dismiss them for another day. Let's see. I mean, Amber, you're pretty. I tell you, if it was a different day and time, you could be my little daughter. Because you're 31 and I'm 51, so it's possible. But I didn't start having children until I got pregnant at 32 and had a lot of miscarriages. So I didn't have my first one to 35 and the next one at 40. But you could have been my child. But I wasn't trying to have no children at 21. That's where I would have been, right? That's what we calculated. I said I was already in math. Tressa, hey, this could be a good show for you to just hang out. Not that you're not a beautiful woman and can get a man, because I saw some of the reviews and they were talking about something about your weight. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about like it's a problem with her weight? It's a black woman. As big as women as black men get that are white, you black girl, boobs, hips, you good. So don't you worry about nobody not liking you, because I don't know, that threw me. Because I'm like, they even had the song, A Big Butt and a Smile. Even Bart was saying they don't, what isn't that, Bart from The Simpsons? I don't even know what they were talking about. That was craziness to me. Some of the YouTubers talking about that and saying that they voted you off and stuff because of your size. You know better. I don't even have to tell you. Liz. So sweet. Pretty. Educated. So I know you've dated somebody and it hasn't been 17 years. I know that it hasn't been that long since you've had somebody in your life. And you could have somebody. And I know you're being choosy. And you're entitled to be. But if you got to give people grace, because nobody's perfect. I'm not going to say to lower your standards, because there's a man out there. But you got to relax. You got to relax something. Yeah. Andrea, I put down here, you're so cute. So cute. I don't know why you don't have a man either. And I say that not because I got one. Because I took my time, like I said. I was 32 when I got married. And I wasn't, if I had found somebody, if I wanted to be married soon, I could have. But I didn't want to. And truth be told, if it wasn't for women having a clock, I probably wouldn't have been married then. Probably would just be getting married now if we had the time like a man. And God has his reasons for that, because I think, after a certain age, we don't need to be burdened down with children, because, they wear on your body. You need your time, sometime in your life for yourself. So I tried to make sure when I was in my 20s, I wanted to have fun, have my own life, work my own job, see what it's like just to be by myself and no cat. No, you know how people always say, yeah, she's trying to find herself, because that's what people just say about me. Oh, she's trying to find herself. No. I knew who I was. I knew what I wanted. I was trying to get rid of some of the junk that other people were trying to put in me to tell me who I am and what women can do, and this my expectation. No. That doesn't apply to me. I wanted to do it the way that I wanted to, but I knew I had perimeters. I know human nature and biology are some things that when you're dating, you have to consider, because as women, we have a certain time frame to get things done. It's just the way it is. If you don't get it done in a certain amount of time, your chances get fewer, because you have, from my understanding of what I was taught in class, you have a certain amount of eggs. We're born with all that we're going to get. And then after a certain point, from what studying and research they've done, well, they get older and things get a little harder. And so, and there were things that had to be considered when I did get pregnant. I had miscarriages, and there were things to be considered. I was just thinking the other day and talking to my husband that if we had not had a miscarriage, we would have an 18-year-old now. Yeah, because like I said, we've been married for 19 years, and soon after I got pregnant, We got married in July, and by September I was pregnant, but I ended up miscarrying, and that was that. It was fine. I didn't need any psychological help. I felt because I'm a Christian, and I believe that. Well, one night I woke up from a dream one morning, and it was a dream where the Lord told me that let me take these off because I'm getting a reflection from the light. He told me in a dream that I was shown that I was going to be in a wheelchair, and that was scary because at the time I used to exercise all the time, muscle failure, all that kind of stuff, and so I woke up out of the dream, and I just started praying over my body and rub my hand over, like praying, Lord, please help me, protect me. But it came true. In the process of some time after being married and getting pregnant, I'm one of those women who, when they get pregnant, your body fights against you being pregnant and you get blood clots. And so I ended up getting a blood clot. It was painful. It's a pain in your leg that you feel. And they said most of the time it's behind your knee. But mine was in my groin area. And it ended up going down to the knee. And then later one came in the knee or in that area. And it's a pain that's hard to describe. It's almost like a toothache where it's a small pain, but your whole body is consumed in it. And my mom, she was thinking it was a boy. We just didn't know what to think of what it was. But all the same, I was during the time back when they had the warfarin, and I had to go do the blood test, and I had to do shots twice a day, and I was in the hospital for almost a week. The only reason why I was in there almost 2 weeks. And I probably would have been longer, but my mom said they don't like to keep people during the holidays, and it was coming up to Thanksgiving that year. And she was like, they don't usually like to keep people in the hospital, so they're probably going to let me out. And they did. But I had to stay at home. I got a lot of stairs, and so they were like, don't walk up a lot of stairs. So I would kind of like come downstairs during the day, and then at night, go up just to have a change of scenery. And, every so often you have to go to the doctor to get checks so they can make sure and check that everything was going okay with the medicine. And, I did warfarin in the hospital, but heparin when I got home. And I do the 2 shots in my stomach. And it was a scary time because blood clots can kill you. It's kind of like how Serena Williams had hers after she had her baby. And Bodge, the basketball player had them. I think Heavy D died of them. Maybe. We're going to say allegedly because I don't remember. But I think that's what happened to him. So this is something that does happen. And like I said, it wasn't a weight problem for me or anything like that or unhealthy living. It was, and I'm not saying for the other ones it was, because all, most people I just named were athletes. But, my doctor said, it was just, that's something that happens to certain women. And I was one of those women that it happened to. And so when I got pregnant for the other babies, I had to take heparin shots twice a day. I could take what it was, Levodopa. But I just did the 2 shots in my stomach twice a day, one on each side, one in the morning, one in the evening. And I'm going into all that. We're not even supposed to be talking about all that. But anyway, I'm just saying. Live your life. Be ready to love when it happens. Did I forget anybody? Kyra, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful girl. Smart, pretty. That green dress was a nice dress. All of them had pretty dresses, but I was like, that is a pretty emerald green dress. And so, I think I hit on everybody. I made a little list. And then looking at the girls and looking at the guys, what I picked as the people that I thought would be good together. Just from looking, like I said, Jason, I thought he would be good for either Amber or Kyra because they're young. They're young. They don't have children. They've never been married. Ron and Cynthia, I think they would be good together. Troy ain't good for nobody, but you're handsome. Khalil, well, like I said, So those are about the only people that I think would. They're really gonna find somebody on the show. And oh, well, they did show Liz and David singing, so they look like they probably would be compatible. But now this was, I'm just gonna do a review on the first and the second episode. They were singing together, so they probably will be good together, and they would make a cute couple. The rest of them, no. Like I said, Ron, Cynthia, we'll see during the reunion, because it could be a lot of twists and turns during the show. But during the reunion, we'll probably see something or later. But I think they would be good. Like I said, Jason with Amber or Kyra. Oh, you know what? I didn't say anything about AJ. I'm sorry. I didn't have my readers on. Should have put them on. AJ, handsome guy, tall guy. Every woman gonna love him because he's tall. And that's a part of human nature. People look for, and women look for, men look for people who are going to help them have pretty children, tall children, strong children, smart children. But not nerds, because people don't like nerds. Sad. I mean, I'm a nerd, so what am I going to say? But I was going to say I'm a cute nerd. But anyway, let me stop. So AJ will get women, but he's not going to ever be good for anybody. Maybe for a little while. What is a little while? Not long. Not to do a marriage. Not even dating. That's just my one black woman's opinion. But AJ is handsome, but he's not going to be good for anybody. If you think you're going to get married to him and that you're going to be his only woman, you're going to be quickly disappointed. I just don't think he's that type of guy. And I mean, even without him saying what he said about himself, that's who he is. That's how he's going to be. And he's saying he's ready to love today. But you know how they say a woman can change her mind. Men do it more than women, if you look at it, because they will go out and get the bread on you, and yeah, you won't see them no more. So marry AJ if you want to. This is a game show. Talk to you later. Bye bye.